Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Jake Truitt, and today for you I'm going to be reading a Halloween children's book that I wrote called Jack's First Halloween. It is a short story about a little thing called friendship and how one random act of kindness can come a long way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the spooky tale. Just kidding. In all seriousness, let's get into the story, shall we? Once there was a boy. Not just any ordinary boy, but a pumpkin-head boy. His name was Jack. Jack Pumpkinton. Jack was super duper excited. Tonight was Halloween, his favorite holiday of the whole year. With his bag ready and his outfit all nice and tidy, out the door he goes, ready to get some candy. As he runs down the street, his mother chases after him, saying, "Hey, wait for me!" All the children are out trick-or-treating, and Jack is happy. He then says, "Look, Mama, look, they're monsters just like you and me." Poor little Jack wasn't aware that all the other children were humans. His mother looked to him and said, "Jack, they're not monsters, honey. They're normal humans." Jack was sad now. He thought there were more monsters like him, but he was the only one. His mama noticed this instantly and said, "Don't be sad, Jack. You might be different, but you're just like me." Jack said, "Thanks, Mama, but I want there to be more kids like me so I can have friends to play with." His mama smiled and said, "Don't worry, Jack. I'm sure you'll find some friends real soon." As Jack and his mother continued trick-or-treating, they ran into a boy dressed like a mummy. He looked at Jack and said, "Trick or treat. I'm Mikey Mummy. Nice to meet you." Jack smiled and said, "I'm Jack Pumpkinton." Jack then looked at Mikey Mummy and said, "Whoa, are you a real mummy?" Mikey nodded, laughed, and said, "Yes. Are you a real pumpkin head boy?" Jack laughed and nodded. Mikey then said, "I'm new to the neighborhood. Wanna trick or treat together?" Jack smiled at this and said, "Sure, I'd love to." Jack's mother and Mikey's mother both smiled and said, as they smiled in return, "I think these two just became friends." So Jack Pumpkinton and Mikey Mummy held hands and ran to the next house to get some candy. After getting candy, they kept walking down the street and ran into 4 ghosts who weren't just dressed as ghosts, but they were real ghosts and siblings as well. Mikey Mummy and Jack Pumpkinton were both in shock. Jack then said, "Hello, what are your names?" The 4 ghosts then smiled and said, "Sammy, Sadie, Sally, and Seth. Pleased to meet you." So Sammy, Sally, Sadie, Seth, Jack, and Mikey, all hand in hand and, well, ghost hand, all continued trick-or-treating with each other. As they went from house to house, they laughed and danced and enjoyed each other's company very much. After they went to every house, they went back to Jack's house to count their candy. They all dumped it out on the floor and started deciding what they were going to trade with each other. Mikey then asked, "Wait, how do you 4 eat candy if you're ghosts? Won't it go through you?" Sammy, Sally, Seth, and Sadie all laughed and said, "We can do a cool trick where we touch the candy and it instantly becomes edible for ghosts." Once the 4 ghosts did this, Jack and Mikey were in shock. "Whoa! Cool," they said. Jack was so excited he lit up on the inside like a Christmas tree. And Mikey was so excited that his eyes glowed green. Sammy then asked, "Wanna try some ghosted candy?" Jack and Mikey both then said, "Would we ever?" So Jack and Mikey tried the ghost candy. When they did, they smiled. Sammy, Sadie, Sally, and Seth all asked, "Well, how How's it taste? Mikey and Jack both then said, Ghostifying. After they all ate a bunch of candy, they put the rest in their bags to save for later. They all then played games together like hide and seek, tag, ghost tag, mummy madness, jolly jacks, and more. They had a complete blast hanging out with each other. They felt so alive. Well, sort of. Mikey looked out the window and said, Let's go look at the stars in the sky. So everyone went to go look at the stars together. As they did, the ghost said, Look, a shooting star. Make a wish. Everyone closed their eyes and made their wishes. The ghost said, We wished for ghost bikes. What did you wish for, Mikey? Mikey then said, I wished for a golden lamp as a birthday present for my mummy. What did you wish for, Jack? Jack smiled and said as he put his arms around Sammy, Sadie, Seth, Sally, and Mikey, My wish has already come true. I wished for new friends. Friends that are different. Just like me. They all then smiled and sat there and watched the stars in the sky together as new friends. Jack, with his new friends, then smiled real big and said, This has been the best first Halloween ever. The end. Happy Halloween, everyone. And remember, as Patrick the Pumpkin says, one random act of kindness comes a long way.